Hello,
Merci, Vivi.
everybody. Hello. Thank you for joining me, Roy.
Yes.
I have so many things to discuss today.
Right, Vivi. So,
Okay. Is there a delay? No, there's no delay, right?
mm-mm.
No. All right. Okay, cool. Uh, yeah, go on.
so I
You
was
start.
thinking, Vivi,
Mm-hmm.
um, when, what was your most painful or life-changing dark night of the soul that you've gone through your whole life, bro?
Well, this is what I was thinking about is that we need to give a definition, or maybe we don't, about what is the dark night of the soul.
I like
Because
that.
if you ask different people, they're going to give you a totally different definition. For me, what was dark night of the soul was the depression, the spiritual depression I felt after my Kundalini awakening. It wasn't before the awakening, it was a little after that.
Hmm.
And it was extremely painful because I felt like, even though my background is in psychology, I've done so much work with many issues of mine. However, many of my issues came back and hit me big time. I felt like my response in the past is that when I was feeling stressed or fearful, I would run away. It was fight or flight. My case
Hmm.
was like the flight response. In that case, though, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. I felt like there was no way out. Um, it felt like there was like a giant hand
Yeah.
pushing me down, and I couldn't move. So it was very scary. However, there were days where I was feeling absolutely fine, and days that I couldn't breathe at all. I was under my blanket, in my bed. I couldn't do anything, and that was
Okay.
very scary because I have so many tools in my disposal, but I couldn't use any of that, and that was scary. I didn't know what to do,
Wow.
and I actually didn't know how to look on the internet because I couldn't describe what I was feeling.
Hmm.
And then I felt that there was like a void inside me. So I started looking up on the word void, spiritual void. And
Smart.
then all this information came through. And then I realized that what was that? It wasn't a clinical depression, it was spiritual depression. It was more like a existential, fear about what am I doing here? Is this? I mean, I always wanted a career. I wasn't sure if I still wanted to do all these things that I had tried so many years to achieve, and I wasn't happy with anything, and I was feeling extremely tired. So I couldn't spend time with other people. I
Yeah,
preferred to be on my own.
definitely.
That was exhausting. I couldn't laugh, you know, with anything. But there were moments that I was getting out of that and I was feeling absolutely fine. So I didn't know what to do. I couldn't describe it.
And
So
you
how
went
about
through
you?
that. You went
Gone?
through that on your own though, right, Vivi? Like you didn't have someone to guide you or help you. It was you.
It was, yes, I was on my own, but I had some people around me, but they were going through the same thing themselves.
Uh-huh.
So they weren't really able to help me.
Right.
Um, However, when I've started looking for videos about spiritual void, spiritual depression, Victor Rodo came through. He was
Sick.
describing the hermit phase of awakening, and that hit home
Oh
straight
yeah,
away.
bro. Hermit.
And then I've realized that I'm not on my own. That many people are, experiencing exactly the same thing, and that was okay. It wasn't that bad. And yeah, after that, I started feeling a lot better. It took time. I think it took me
Definitely.
more than 2 years.
Wow. Yes, time, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, if you just joined, guys, we're talking about the Dark Night of the Soul,
Hmm.
which is basically some of the darkest moments that we've gone through. And there's so many people that are going through it right now, and that's why it's a topic that we decided to discuss. Back to your earlier question, Vivi, about me. Um, I can relate and resonate with everything you said, bro. Like I recently, I had a dark night of the soul 4 months ago, and it was
Mm-hmm.
more like a dark night of 3 weeks,
Oh, yeah.
because it was exactly what you were saying. Like you get so numb, like you don't feel anything. You can't laugh. You feel like complete shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, what caused that was losing my whole foundation, my at the time what I thought was my purpose, being a personal trainer slash owner, and it all just got stripped. I got to the point where I woke up shaking. I was so bad. I was waking up at 3 in the morning. I was putting in 12-hour days, just working my ass off to make my dreams a reality. And when we have that mindset, that's that entrepreneur mindset, guys. When you will do everything and anything to make sure your dreams come true. And that's what I did. I'm like, all right, if I got to sacrifice my health, if I got to sacrifice my time, I don't care. My dreams will come true. And Vivi, guys, the same thing that broke me made me, dude. Because I was a broken man. And like you said, Vivi, you don't want to do anything, man. You want to be alone. You don't want to see your parents. You don't want to talk to your friends. You're in this dark rabbit hole in your mind
Mm-hmm.
where nothing matters, and you're just depressed, bro. You see no, like, what's
No
the point?
light.
No
Yeah.
light, exactly, bro. And so many people, if you're going through this, like so many people have gone through it already, guys, and we're telling you there is light at the end of the tunnel. But as you see for Vivi, it took 2 years. It takes time. It takes time to heal. It takes time to go through this process, but it's necessary.
Absolutely. It wasn't easy, but definitely there is light at the end of the tunnel. And what was strong in me, it was like I was feeling lost, and I didn't want to work. I didn't want to find a job because I was jobless at the time. And because I couldn't find any job that I could feel comfortable with.
Mhm.
So it
Yeah,
was like everything was meaningless, you know. And then
exactly. Yeah.
I woke up one day and I've realized that I need to create this job. I don't need to look for a job elsewhere. I need to create it. And the moment I've realized that this is my creation, I can do that. I felt totally different. I have control over that. I have control over my life, of my reality, of my dreams. I can change that. And
Yeah.
this can be very, very scary, when you start doing something, you have no idea how to do it. Okay, there's no manual. And if there
No.
is, because you're trying to be authentic and you want to do it in your own way, so you cannot really follow other people's steps.
Very
You need to
scary,
do it
bro.
yourself. Yeah, it is. So how was it for you? I mean, being on the camera and actually talking about your experiences, what forced you, what made you do that? What do you want to achieve by doing that?
So remember, Vivi, the first time I tried being an influencer, I failed, bro. I gave up on it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is again the second time. What kept calling me back and gave me a why to come back on here, start making videos again, start making
Mm-hmm.
content again, was really while I was at the studio for the year. And I would make little short snippet videos here and there, but nothing really,
Mm-hmm.
right? Nothing. I wasn't all in.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm all in, I know I reflect and I think back like, yo, what really called you to do this again, Roy?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that people would send me messages, guys, like random through Snapchat, through Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
like telling me how I motivate them, I inspire them to want more, to do more. And I'm like, there's no way these messages are coming to me for no reason, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like my purpose, BB, it kept calling me back. No matter how broken I was, again, within those 3 weeks, it kept calling me back. And I'm like, okay, you know what? One more time. I got nothing to lose. I'm already fucked. Like at that
Yeah,
point,
no.
I already lost everything. Right, BB, you know how it is, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure many
Definitely.
people do, bro. When you
Mm-hmm.
have nothing to lose, you're like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? What if I could motivate the world? What if
Mm-hmm.
my words can change people's lives and give them that extra fucking hope that I didn't have, and I had to dig so deep into my soul to pull out. What if, man? And that's BB. That's when I started coming back, guys, and that's when I started making content, posting again, because I'm like, dude, no, it's not over yet. I can't go out like this, man. I refuse to give up. I refuse to quit, no matter how low, how hard life hit. And that's when I got back on the scene, bro. What about you, BB?
I think that I went out of the dark night of the soul when I surrendered and said that, you know, this is what I need to do. And I know it's very scary because all the fears, you know, hit me from everywhere. And I've realized that when I was going through this dark night of the soul, I was, you know, and when I found this information on the internet, it was so helpful. And I've realized that I need to do something similar for, you know, other people that, you know, they can see these videos, and I'm sure they're gonna find them very helpful. And I found a purpose, I think. I felt alive after so many years, you know. Right. And I think that there are days when I'm not doing videos and I'm feeling like I'm sliding back to this dark night, you know. It's just because that gives me purpose, doing these videos, speaking to other people, helping people, doing therapy, gives meaning to everything that I've, you know, experienced. I don't know, it's a magical experience. And honestly, if someone is going through the dark night of the soul now, it's absolutely fine. They're gonna recover. That's for sure. It's not easy. But what is happening is that when you are in this darkness, the light is trying to get in. But in order to to create space for the light, you need to let go of all this darkness. You need to let go of all these negative emotions. You need to let go of all these limiting beliefs. And then everything is lit, you know, there's light everywhere. But you need to go through that. You cannot really escape that, and you cannot really change the way you feel with the law of attraction. Yeah, you just need, and sometimes, to be honest with you, because I have to say that for me it's important, we have, you know, when someone is going through a very tough phase or they're experiencing these negative emotions, one of the first things they do is that they're trying to get rid of them as soon as possible before they understand why they're feeling like that. So you need to give time to yourself to understand why you're feeling uncomfortable, and then let go of the feeling, you know, of the emotion, of the belief. So it needs time, and you need to be patient. This is how it works, I think. You cannot really rush. You cannot really push it, you know. It has to happen.
You know, and Vivi, you know, I can totally relate again to that, because it's so common, you know, to try to avoid those negative emotions, those negative thoughts. And for me personally, guys, I did that with alcohol. I would numb it, you know, as soon as those thoughts, or people like drugs, right? As soon as those thoughts, those feelings of bad emotions start rising up, you don't want to feel them. You don't want to deal with yourself. You don't want to face yourself and the reality of the situation. So you look to something outside. Some people, even working out, you know, bro. I got to a point where I was beating my ass in the gym for 2 hours a day, but it wasn't healthy, because I knew what I was trying to block. I knew the emotions that I was trying to block, but in my mind, I didn't realize that until after, dude. Until after the whole thing, you know, your mind can be tricky sometimes, man.
Yes, it is. I use food.
Food?
I was eating, beans, eating all the time. The moment I would feel uncomfortable in my solar plexus, the first thought was to eat something in order to push it down. You know, I didn't want to feel it, and they want to experience it. And this is what the dark night of the soul will do, is that sometimes you have worked on a very specific issue, all right, but then you think that, oh, now it's resolved, it's not going to come back. And then all of a sudden, another aspect of the same issue comes back. And then you're like, oh my God. Everything is amplified, you know, all the emotions is like, And the thing was, when you felt that you have released that emotion or that event or that situation, you felt like great, I have a breakthrough. Now I'm free of that. It's not going to happen
Yeah.
again. No. After
Bro.
1 2 weeks, boom. And you're like, no, it's not going to end.
Facts.
It's going to be forever, you know?
It amazes me, Vivi, how easy it is to fall back into those old patterns and old habits, bro.
Hmm.
Even with alcohol, dude. Like it's
Yeah.
still. I to this day I get the urge, you know.
Hmm.
To this day
Hmm.
I get the urge, and it's annoying, bro. You know, like you said, you think you broke through it. You think, like, yes, I got it now. Nope. Sit your ass back down, bro.
Yeah. Eventually, you will stop drinking and I will stop eating like that. Actually, there is a difference. I haven't eat like in that way for a long time. And I think that the moment I've realized there is a connection between food and loneliness, then I worked on the loneliness, on the feeling of being lonely, and then all of a sudden realized that it was gone, you know. But yeah, I mean, you have these ups and downs, falling back again and again
Right,
and
bro.
again. But I think that if you think that, you know, this is a process, okay, there are many, many aspects, I'll be fine. And I think the most important thing, what you need to do in that case is that think that I'm not gonna fall back to where I was. It's just another aspect of it, okay? All right.
Mm.
I'm doing so much work, and definitely just another aspect, nothing else. And just stay with that because it's gonna stay for a few days, and then you'll be fine again.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jen, I saw Jen really relates to you, Vivi. With
Oh,
I
then
think
thank you.
with, I think it's with the binge eating. Like
Yeah.
it's really something that people struggle with, bro. You know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because sometimes, you know, what I'm doing, and I'm not doing it anymore. I was always trying to find connections between present behavior you have now, with past events or traumatic experiences. But I've realized the reason I was eating is because of that loneliness I was feeling, you know, being in this place here where I don't have many people that I can relate with. I want to be somewhere else, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And yes, acceptance as well. And acceptance to where you are now, you know, because in my case, I'm not where I want to be. Okay. And but sometimes I'm losing patience and
Right.
I'm feeling very angry. And what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat chocolate and I'm gonna eat all these things in order to numb the pain. Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
It's
Chocolate.
such an easy release, bro. You know, it's such an
Hmm.
easy release, man.
It is. And then you feel bad because you've done it. And then
Yeah,
you're
and
like,
then
oh no, I'm not gonna do it again. Do you
yeah,
know
bro.
what I do lately is that when I have these days when I'm overeating, I'm thinking like, you know, it's normal because I'm feeling bad. And I have only this way in order to calm myself down.
Mm,
However, there are so many ways. You can do yoga, you can walk, you can do whatever you want. But if I chose to use food in order to numb the pain, I'm not feeling bad. I'm trying to be to show compassion to myself and be very patient with myself. There's a
mhm.
good reason, and it's absolutely fine. I'm absolutely sure it's not gonna be forever. It's just for now.
Exactly, Vivi.
And yeah.
Something that Victor Odo shared.
Mm-hmm,
He said that I asked him about
mm-hmm,
this issue, and again, it can relate to everybody, bro. Because we all have that one thing, right?
yeah.
He said that one of his mentors
Mm-hmm.
told him that what if it's not time for you to let that go yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's always right. That's always something to keep in the back of your mind. Like if you want to let it go, then maybe it's not time right now, but you're gonna let it go.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So just keeping that in mind, bro. Like it's a process, right? Like everything you've gone through.
What you have just said is very, very important because I have an issue, okay? For me, it's a core issue. And I'm thinking I've been working on that for so many years and I haven't managed to release it yet. So every time there's a new aspect coming through. And then I
Hmm.
realized that this is my motivation in order to move forward and keep working and keep doing all this spiritual work, you know, this healing.
Hmm.
So sometimes an issue, a problem is there for a reason. And, we just need to accept that it is there. We're doing the best we can. And maybe if we can't release it now, it's absolutely fine. There's a reason behind it.
Right.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Crystal. Thank you for joining in.
Yes. So true, bro.
Yeah, there's a reason. But again, it's not going to be there forever, definitely.
Right. And that's just something that we have to remember. We have to remember, because when we're in that dark place, or after we did our we were in our lower selves, and we did what we didn't want to, like our escape. We have to remember that, Vivi, right? Like, dude, all right, we fucked up. Own it. Like you say love yourself. I say own it, and it's like the same thing. It's you, bro.
Yeah,
It's an aspect, man, right? Like fuck it, bro. What do you?
Absolutely. It's okay. I mean, it's a difficult time because if you think about it, okay, this is a transition. We are moving into a new phase in our lives. We have no idea what we need to do. Okay, we're just using our intuition in order to move forward. Whereas in the past, we're using our logic, or, we're taking the logical steps. But at this time, we're using our intuition, just our intuition.
Yep.
And this can be very scary because you don't know where you're gonna end up. You just have this good feeling and the certainty that, if I'm following my intuition, everything will be fine. But your logical mind, your ego is like, really? You sure?
Yep.
I don't think so.
I'm sure so many feel that way, dude. Let us know, guys. Let us know, bro.
Yeah. How is it for you guys?
That's why I say it's war, bro. It is war every day inside your mind. Because if you fall into those false beliefs, if you believe them, if you believe those negative thoughts, that self-doubt, you're gonna keep going in the complete opposite direction, and you're never stuck. There's a saying, bro. If you're not growing, you're dying. So at one point, one given moment or another, you're going forward or you're going backward. But it's right. It's a pendulum, bro. It's a pendulum. So
Yeah.
it's just, again, keeping that in mind, Vivi.
But again, I think it's important to show patience to ourselves and
Definitely.
be as compassionate as possible, because it's okay. It's not the best of the situations, but again, do you know what I was thinking? That my negative thoughts, my limiting beliefs, are the foundation, all right, of my work.
Interesting.
So I'm grateful that I have all these negative emotions and all these limiting beliefs, and because these are the ones that help me be what I am today. All right, so I'm grateful. Yeah.
You see, guys, how Vivi creates those thoughts, that pain, into purpose, right, Vivi?
Yes.
And that's a gift, bro. Because not a lot of people can do that. They let those thoughts sink them down. But if you can create your pain into purpose, guys, you will be unstoppable. Because look at everything that you can do just from using those emotions, again, to push you forward rather than to hold you down. But look how long it took. Really, it takes time to create that awareness, right? To create that perspective, that mind shift, as Aaron calls it.
Do you know how I achieve that?
Tell us, bro.
There is a way to do that. You're just lying down on your bed and you're just staring at the ceiling for hours.
Whoa. You haven't, dude. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. But to be honest with you, I'm trying to be as positive as possible. And when something negative happens, jumping straight away to the questions, to why this is happening, what does it mean, all right? And the moment I'll start working on that, disappears. It stays with me, all these negative feelings, for a few days, and then it goes. And the other thing, which is very, very important, I have created a support network, and that was something I didn't have before. So now if I'm feeling down, or I'm not, don't know how to, I don't know, feel better,
Right.
or whatever, I'll reach out and this is something I wasn't doing in the past. I was on my own,
Helps.
you know,
Yeah. Right.
not talking to
Yeah.
anyone. Now I'm okay too. I like people, I think now.
Oh
I
man.
like people.
No, it
It
really
was too
does
much,
help.
you know, their energy was too much. This is how it was feeling, you know, it was too much, too
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah, man.
I'm okay now. I like them.
Yeah, I think Eleanor and Crystal can definitely relate, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jen as well, bro. Like it's crazy how it's all connected, Vivi. You know, guys,
Mm.
we all have our own individual experiences, but at the same time, the emotions are the same. You know, the
Yeah,
pain is the same, the suffering, dude, everything that comes along with it.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. In the past, I couldn't go out in a shopping mall. You know, it was too much. You know, or I wasn't. If it was like a big group of friends, I didn't want to join them because I just couldn't. You know, I prefer to stay at home and do nothing or watch I don't know, a series on Netflix. Um, but now I'm thinking that I'm more relaxed, but I'm very, very picky
mhm,
with whom I'm spending time with. And sometimes I worry, you know, because I feel like this dark night of the soul caused a huge problem
oh yeah.
because I was very, very sociable, and now I'm like, oh my God, I don't like people.
It's that awareness, bro. It really is, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, bro. Like it's you get to a point where you're like, all right, and again, it's all the intention and perspective, bro. Right? Because if you're alone because you're depressed, it's a different story compared to you want to be alone because you want to know yourself more. You want to talk to yourself and get to know,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Um, but I think maybe as you ascend, as you go through your life, you get to the point where you're tired of the fuckery, all that
mm-hmm,
bullshit, that people's bullshit. You're tired of the fakeness. You're tired of people just backstabbing you. You know,
mm-hmm.
doing you favors because they want something back. Like you get tired and fed up with that, and your spirit knows, bro. You know, you're aware enough to the point where you're like, nah, like I don't want to deal with that shit anymore.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I was spending more time with animals, with cats, but not with people. You know,
Hmm.
I was finding easier, and even now, you know.
Hmm.
But definitely, there's light at the tunnel. It doesn't last forever, and this is the message. This is like a process that we need all of us. We need to go through. And it's okay. We're not gonna die, even though it feels like we are gonna die. Uh,
Yeah,
I know that, Eleanor. I know.
good comments. Yes, Jen, who you
Yes.
surround yourself with, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And you have people like they don't understand what you're talking about. I think I was speaking to Archangel Michael more than to other people around me. So there
Yeah,
was
it's like
like
that, bro.
I was living in the spiritual world and not in the, in the
Physical world.
current, the
Yeah,
physical one, the 3D world. Yeah.
yeah. It's how it is sometimes, dude. It's just it's funny. It's funny how that works because you know, growing up, you have so many friends, and you know, you want to be part of society and contribute and go to parties
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And as you get older, you're like, you realize that it's a waste of time, bro. You
Hmm.
know, like it's.
I was feeling like a grumpy old lady, you know. Ah, stay away! I don't want you.
Uh, yeah.
I'm gonna throw water to you, a bucket of water, you know.
Get
Go
back,
away.
get back. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Block
I
them.
get it, bro. I
Yeah.
fucking get it, man. And it's funny, Vivi, that you bring that up because I made a post today, and I wrote, most people don't expect people to understand you. Most people are still understanding themselves,
Oh, yeah,
right?
definitely.
So it's like, how can you expect someone to understand who you are, your dream, where you want to go in life when they don't even understand themselves, or they're barely they're they're failing at understanding themselves. They think they know who they are, but in reality, you know, they don't. And that's just something to keep in mind because sometimes we let other people's opinions, other people's judgments get to our head, not realizing that it's bullshit. That you don't have to, you know, you don't have to accept that, man.
Well, nobody can understand you because nobody can see your perspective. All right.
Right.
So, for example, if you are in a place, everyone can have the same experience, which would be sitting in a chair. But if you ask them how they feel, they're going to tell you totally different things.
Right.
So it's not easy for someone to accept you or to tell you something because they can see the whole thing from a totally different perspective. So yeah, you just need to trust yourself
Yeah.
and be as authentic as possible, you know, trust what
Definitely.
comes from within.
Remember to trust, bro. Remember to
Yes.
trust, man.
Yeah.
There's a motto that I live by, Vivi, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple, but it's harder to apply. It's live and let live, and that means live your life, right? Live how you want to be, and let others live their life. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't try to put your opinions, don't try to put your beliefs onto someone else, because that's their journey. Who are you to interfere with their journey, with
Mm-hmm.
their spirit contract, life contract? And that's what it means: live and let live. And this way, you'll have a peace of mind. You don't have to worry about having
Yeah.
a trying to, why isn't he taking my advice? Why aren't they listening to me? Like, nah, bro, like that's their journey. That's their individual path. Focus on you, bro. And you raising your vibration, you shining your light is gonna impact them indirectly or directly, depending on how much you talk to the person. But just
You
something to
know,
keep in mind.
you don't need, I think we don't need to convince anyone about anything. We just need to be. We just need
Yes,
to continue living our lives without, we don't need to say anything. People will be inspired anyway, you know,
exactly.
and,
Yeah.
just accept that. Sorry, guys, I'm moving the camera because I'm holding the phone on my hand. So it's like,
It's all good.
yeah, the tripod didn't work. Anyway, unless you want to see me sideways, which is,
Yeah.
I'm, you know.
But have a photo shoot, bro.
Oh yeah. Right. I forgot what I wanted to say,
Mm.
but I think it was important. But it
You
doesn't matter
said
because we said all
just
these
be,
important things. Yeah, just be.
right?
I mean, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm sure that other people would like to do or to follow their path because they know it is possible, and they can do it themselves. You know, it's not as hard, and no, we live as, what is the expression? Live as an example or
Lead by example.
live. No, 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 it's not what I want to say. Anyway,
There's so many things, bro.
yeah, right. Okay, anything else you want to add? Don't want to
Um,
tire you guys.
yeah. Well, do you guys have any questions? Like anything you're
Yeah,
going through? Anything maybe we can shed light on, guys? Just let us know, bro. Let us know. Um,
bros, dudes,
yeah, I love saying bro.
sisters. I love it. I
Right?
love it. Yeah.
It's
I went to the butcher the other day and was like, "Hey, bro." I was like, "Oh my God, what did I just say?" Not a good idea.
like bro. Yeah, man. But
Right.
yeah, guys,
Uh,
just keep all this in mind, right? Maybe like
yeah.
everything we've talked about, just keep it in mind if you're going through shit right now.
Yeah. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, I'm dealing with family.
I think you got that one, Vivi.
Where shall I
Right?
start?
That's the right question, Jed. Vivi can tell you all about that, bro.
Well, I can tell you everything you need to know. So, if you want to, oh, don't expect approval from your family, Jen. It's not going to happen. But they can help you with your journey. What you need to do is to go and visit your parents. Okay, they're going to trigger you big time, and then you're going to have all this material to work on, all these issues. And just because you have all these, emotions that are up here, okay, they're up to the surface, it's going to be easier to let them go. Okay, so use your family to let go as a way to let go as many issues as you can. All right, and this is how they assist you unconsciously. The-
Unconsciously.
yeah, don't
That's cold.
expect approval. I mean, if they're in a different path, I don't know, they may have different beliefs. Yeah, you don't need to convince anyone. You just need to follow your path. And you know, you have your family where you grew up, and where you are related, but also you have your soul family, and we are here to assist you. Okay, and yeah, yeah.
I think
Yes,
everybody needed
Crystal.
an answer.
Yeah,
Needed
yeah.
that question.
Well, guys, I used to live in England, and I came back here in Greece, and I didn't want to be here, because the reason I went to England is because I escaped from all those emotions from the family. But the spiritual awakening brought me here, brought me back here, and that was the fast way for me to release painful emotions, okay, and traumatic events. So just use your family and all these painful emotions to move faster with your journey, okay? Because when they are trigger you, you feel all those emotions that are up here. Because sometimes when we do therapy, we're trying to remember what does it mean. But if you just go and visit your family, they're gonna tell you something. You are like, yes, quarantine was very helpful
That's
indeed.
funny, Jen. That's
Yeah.
funny.
You have it here. You don't need to remember. You just have it in front of you. So yeah, this is how
Element.
your family is assisting you.
Yeah,
And they are
bro.
great. They're amazing. They're gonna tell you something just by the look, you know. Just do this. Ah.
Yeah, man. And I can,
Yes.
guys, I can totally again resonate with that because I'm in quarantine with my parents, with my
Oh,
family,
fantastic.
and it's yes, there's the ups and downs, but what's worked for me is like what's worked for me is I've accepted that they're not gonna, as much as they love me, they're not gonna believe in me as much as I believe in myself, as much as I believe in my dreams and what I want out of life, and that's okay. Like
Mhm.
Dee says, I use that for motivation. I use those
Yeah.
triggers to push me up, bro. I'm not like, oh, if they don't believe in me, then I'm not even gonna try, you know, like. But it's natural. The Hispanic culture where they come from, just making it to them is just getting here to the U.S., bro. Sorry
Mhm.
about that, guys.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Go on.
Making it for them it's just having the American dream, living the life, right? You have kids, you get married, and that's all they want out of life, and that's why they don't have those high hopes as us entrepreneurs, as us leaders will have, bro. And it's
Mhm.
okay. They used to bug me. They used to bug the shit out of me, guys. But I realized, like, dude, why get stressed over that? You're not gonna change their minds. I tried. Can't say I
Mhm.
haven't tried. But they doubted me when I manifested the personal training studio. They doubted me when I told them I'm gonna be a multimillionaire. They're doubting now. Bro, are you sure this entrepreneur journey as an influencer is gonna work? And it's like, again, everything is questioned. But I understand. Like I said, they don't have to understand me. It's what's in here, bro. It's what's in
Mhm.
here, and I'm just like, I used to. I don't know if I told you guys. I used to be a boxing instructor. I used to
Mhm.
box, and that's how I envision now. Like whenever they're throwing triggers, I'm like, whoa, dodge, just go left, right, and just whatever works for you, you know, whatever works for you, bro.
Well, I'll tell you something extreme. Okay, one of the last things.
Go
um,
ahead, man.
when I was doing therapy in England, I was always trying to remember past events with my family. And when I came here, I went and stayed with my dad for 5 months. My dad
Mm-hmm.
has dementia, okay? And he was chasing me with a knife.
Whoa,
I became
dude,
faster. I'm very good. I'm running really
that
fast.
became faster. Yeah, that'll make you run, bro.
Imagine that. I was there, couldn't feel anything, couldn't remember anything. Came here, remembered everything, all the
Wow,
traumatic, events,
big,
everything, just in
right?
front of me. So yeah, just use all these situation. I mean, quarantine is perfect. It's going to help you
Yeah.
because the more you feel, the more comfortable you feel, the more you will be released. Okay, because when you feel anxiety because they told you something, you're gonna do something about that anxiety or that anger. All right, yeah, just use it.
There you go. Welcome,
Right.
Jen.
All right, guys. Anything else?
Before we dip,
We said we're gonna stay 30 minutes, but I loved it. You know, it's so nice. I can stay here till tomorrow, talking on my own.
Dude,
Yeah.
Angelic, we're about to leave, buddy.
Come back tomorrow. I'm gonna be here.
Come back. You know what I mean?
We'll be here. We'll be
Man.
here.
Vivi, this is
Thank
the
you,
first time
Crystal.
really putting out your life like that, right, bro? Like
Yes, yes, I do.
that's awesome, buddy.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome,
pretend that I
man.
don't have issues. That's why.
Yeah.
Like everything is great, you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys. I'm gonna leave you now. Thank you so much for joining
Wow.
us and listening to us and our stories and our wisdom. And
Madness.
yes. And yeah. So time to say goodbye.
You guys can still catch it on the IGTV. Just post it on your profile, Vivi.
I really, I
Soon
don't
as
know.
you,
I don't know how to do that. You need to tell
as
me.
soon as soon as you end it, it's gonna give you an option.
All
And
right.
just click IGTV, add to IGTV as soon as you end it, bro.
All right. Okay, I will do that then. Okay,
All right.
perfect. Okay, lots of
We all have
love.
issues,
Bye
Chen.
bye.
All right, love,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Thank
Love.
you.
Much love.